Welcome to The Explainer. Okay, let me ask you something. We're all told that to succeed, you gotta go faster, do more, never ever switch off, right? But what if that's all wrong? What if the real key to winning isn't running harder, but learning how to stand perfectly still? Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. Today, we're gonna unpack this powerful, kind of counterintuitive strategy for not just surviving, but actually thriving in our wild, chaotic world. So let's just get right into it with a question that I'm pretty sure is gonna hit home. You know that feeling? The one where you're being pulled in a million directions at once? Your to-do list is endless, and your personal battery is just always in the red. Does that sound familiar? If you're nodding your head right now, listen up. You are so not alone. That feeling of being constantly on, like you're in a sprint where the finish line just keeps getting further away, that's not a personal failure. Not at all. It's actually baked into our modern world. It's a product of this hustle culture that celebrates being busy, even if it runs us right into the ground. So this really leaves us at a crossroads with two very different paths to take. Path number one, that's the hustle culture path. It's all about reckless action, constant sprinting, and you know where that leads: burnout, total disaster. But then there's path number two, a totally different approach. This one is about embracing natural rhythms, sprinting for sure, but also resting. And that path leads to renewal and the kind of endurance that actually lasts. Okay, so what exactly is this other path? Like, where do we even begin? Well, believe it or not, an ancient text gives us a pretty surprising first step. It's not work smarter or hack your productivity. Nope, it's something way deeper. Empty your mind completely. Hold stillness absolutely. Now, that might sound a little passive, maybe even lazy, but trust me, it's anything but. And this is what's so cool about it. Stillness is not about doing nothing. It's not laziness. It is a strategic tool, almost like a superpower. Think of it like this. It's hitting the master reset button for your brain. It's this active, intentional practice of clearing out all the mental junk, the noise, the anxiety, the notifications, so that you can finally see what's really going on, spot the patterns no one else sees, and make way, way better decisions. You know, to really get how this works, you don't need some complicated textbook. Seriously, all you have to do is look outside. Nature's been running the show for billions of years, perfecting this whole sustainable success thing. It's the ultimate blueprint. So the trick is to just copy nature's homework, right? Think about it. A tree grows leaves, then they fall. But that's not an end, it's preparation for new growth. We can do the exact same thing in our work. Go hard in a sprint, then pull back, rest, and reflect. Same goes for your money. The economy has seasons, just like the year. You save up when things are good, so you're ready when things get a little lean. It's just common sense, really. And this whole return to your roots thing, it's not just a nice idea. We see it play out in the stories of some of the biggest game changers in history. I mean, look at Steve Jobs. When he got kicked out of Apple, what did he do? He took a step back, a kind of sabbatical. And that time away is exactly what led to the breakthroughs that made Apple's comeback legendary. Or think about an artist like Picasso. He would go back to his earlier, more basic styles to just reignite his creativity. For both of them, stepping away was actually the secret to leaping forward. But here's where it gets really interesting. This whole thing starts as a personal practice, but it doesn't end there. It grows into something so much bigger. We're not just talking about feeling a little less stressed out. This ancient wisdom lays out a clear, like a domino effect, a chain reaction that connects your own inner peace to having a real lasting impact on the world. Okay, so check out how this chain reaction works. Step one, you start by knowing the rhythms of your environment, like seeing how market cycles actually work. That knowledge makes you adaptable, so you can pivot your entire business model, like Netflix did when it went from DVDs to streaming. That adaptability lets you act justly and build a brand with integrity, which is how a company like Patagonia gets such fiercely loyal customers. And the final link? You endure beyond fads and trends, building a real legacy, kind of like Toyota's reputation for long-term quality. And the amazing part, it all kicks off with stillness. All right, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but how do I actually do any of this? Like in my real, messy, busy life? Totally fair question. So let's get into a practical toolkit. Here are 4 steps you can take to bring this power of stillness into your own life. Okay, here are 4 really concrete things you can start doing. First, a daily root check. Just ask yourself one simple question. Does this decision line up with my core values? That's it. Second, try a quarterly reset. Take one day, get out in nature if you can, and just review your goals and cut out the stuff that's distracting you. Third, adopt circular systems. It's as simple as choosing to repair things instead of just replacing them. And last, but maybe the most powerful of all, practice non-doing. The next time you feel that stress spike, just stop. Pause for 10 minutes before you react.
So what's the big payoff here? What's the ultimate reward for getting in sync with this rhythm? Well, it's not just about getting ahead in the short term or avoiding burnout. The real promise here is that when you align with this natural flow, your influence, your impact, it can last long, long after you're gone.
And look, this is not some fantasy. Think about real people like Marie Curie. Was she chasing fame and headlines? No way. She was quietly, intensely focused on fundamental science. And because of that, she built a legacy that is still shaping our world today. Or take Václav Havel, a playwright who ended up leading a whole country. He didn't use armies or force, he used quiet integrity, moral authority to bring down an entire regime peacefully. Their influence lasts because it was built on something solid and real, not on hype or brute force. So I want to leave you with one single, powerful question to think about. The next time you're staring down a huge challenge, a big deadline, a tough decision, that moment where you feel completely overwhelmed, what's your gut reaction going to be? Will you just push harder, lean into the chaos? Or will you find the courage to pause first? Your answer to that one question might just change everything.